So today we will cover control structure that particularly involved looping statements. So we have three kind of statements as we discussed yesterday. Sequential, that is the default behavior, or you can alter the control flow of control either using decision making statements or using looping statements. So as in all other languages, SQL, PL/SQL also supports the looping statements. So we have three kind of statements. One is loop, another one is while, another one is for. So three kind of loops are there: loop, while, and for. So we are going to cover one by one all these loops. First one loop is called basic loop, then we have for loop, and then we have while loop. Three kind of loops are there. So the loop statement is the simplest loop structure in PL/SQL. The execution block starts with the keyword loop and ends with the keyword end loop. So these are the two keywords that are required for a basic looping structure. So there is no condition checking. Basically it is unconditional loop. Unconditional means we are not checking any condition in the loop, but to exit from the loop we need some condition. So some exit condition should be mentioned within the body of the loop, so that loop should be exited. Otherwise the loop can be continued for indefinite time or infinite number of times. So such loops should be avoided. So whenever you are going to use simple basic structure of loop, always add the exit condition within the statements of the loop. So this is the general structure of the loop. It is started with the loop keyword and there the end loop keyword, and whatever you write within the within these two constructs, those statements will be executed for infinite number of times. So you need some exit condition within these statements so that the loop can be exited. So this is example of this basic loop. For example, I declared a variable x with value 10, and I started the loop. I print the value of x in the very first statement, then I increment the x by 10. Now this is the condition. This is the structure that helps us to exit the loop. So in every iteration, it will check the value of x. If the value of x is more than 50, then I have executed the exit statement that will exit the loop, that will break the loop. And finally this line will be printed when the loop exits. After exit, the value of x will be printed at this particular location. So it is very simple loop. You can use it at any place, but with caution that you should mention the exit condition within the body of this particular loop. Then comes this is another loop. You can also use exit statement instead of using if else. You can use the exit when x is more than 50. This is the same program. It the action is same. So you can mention the condition like this. You can use the if else statement. If condition, then exit, and if, or you can also use exit statement. So exit statement is exit when keyword, exit is also keyword, when is also keyword, followed by condition. So you have to mention the condition here. So when this condition met, this loop will exit due to this exit statement. So you can either break the loop using exit statement, or you can use the exit statement within the if structure. This is also exit statement, and you can also use the exit statement with the when clause. So exit when condition. So this is the general structure of this statement: exit when condition. So here condition is x is more than 50. So the output of both the program will be same. Now coming to the while loop, because we have two kind of situations. One is while loop and another one is for loop. They are both are definite loop. They both are conditioned loop. Whereas in the previous case, the loop statement is unconditional. Unconditional means we have not mentioned any condition in the structure of the loop, whereas for loop and while loop, both are conditional loop. Conditional means we have to mention the condition that is controlling the execution, controlling the iteration of loop. We have mentioned those conditions within the structure of the loop. So I hope you must be aware. You must be aware about the difference between for loop and while loop. Any idea from your side? What is the difference between for loop and while loop? How will you decide when you have to use for loop and when you have to use while loop?
सर फॉर लूप में हमें पता होता है कि वो कितने टाइम्स चलेगी.
Very good. So it is basically definite loop. It is a definite and it is indefinite. While loop is indefinite case. When we have indefinite case, then we are going to use a while loop. When we have a definite case, then we are going to use for loop. Definite and indefinite. For example, when we are asking from the user that whether he want to play a game or not. So for how many time user will enter yes or that we cannot decide it in advance. So it is indefinite case. In the similar way, for how many time user will enter a wrong password, we cannot define it in advance. So that is again indefinite case. So indefinite case is where we don't know in advance how many time the loop will be executed. It may take one iteration, it may take 3 times, it may take 5 times, and so on. So it all depends upon the action of the user. So at that places we are going to use the while loop. Otherwise, when we have a definite case, for example, if we fix that the password will be entered for three times, and after that your account will be blocked, then we are fixing the number of iteration, and at that place we can use the for loop. So definite case. So we have either definite case or we have indefinite case. So same is the case with PL/SQL. Uh, we have two kinds of loop. One is while loop, another one is for loop. While loop is indefinite case, for loop is definite case. So while loop statement repeatedly executes a target statement as long as a given condition is true. So this is the general structure of while loop. While condition followed by loop. So this is a keyword. This is also a keyword. Condition you have to mention, then followed by set of statements that you want to execute. Finally, again keyword and loop. So you must end every loop with the statement and loop. So this is example. Declare. I declared a variable with value 10, and while a is less than 20, this is my condition. These are two keywords. While and loop, these are two keywords. A is less than 20, this is my condition, and I am printing the value of a and incrementing the value by 1. So this is here the loops end, and here the begin block end. So your program ends here. So this loop will be executed for 10 times because it is starting from 10 and I am incrementing the value by 1. So it will print the value 10, 11, 12, and so on up to 19. So whenever the value of a becomes 20, condition becomes false. So 20 will not be printed here, and your loop will exit. So this is a very simple program demonstrating the working of a while loop. Now coming to the for loop. For loop is a repetition control structure that allows you to efficiently write a loop that needs to execute a specific number of times. So when we know in advance the number of time my loop has to be executed, then I will use the for loop. Otherwise I can use while loop. So this is a structure of for loop. Looks very much complicated, but it is quite simple. This is keyword. So we have to use some counter. It can be any variable name. Again keyword in. Then we have to provide the initial value, double dot, final value. Loop is again keyword. Then we have to specify the set of statement that we want to execute. And finally the block will be ended at the end loop statement. So end loop is to for marking the end of the loop. For counter in initial value and final value. So here you have to mention the initial value, here you have to mention the final value. So whatever the variable you write here, the initial value is assigned to that variable, and counter is start from that particular value and goes up to the final value by incrementing by 1. So initial step is executed first, and only once. So once this step is executed, that the value is initialized with the initial value. So this step allows you to declare and initialize any loop control variable. The loop control variable, for example, counter, whose value will be will control the execution of the loop. So this step will execute only once in the lifetime of this particular loop. Next, the condition, that is initial value to final value, is evaluated. If it is true, the body of the loop is executed. If the value of a counter is within this range, initial value and final value, if the value of counter is within this range, then it will be treated as true and the body of the loop will be executed. And after the body of the for loop execute, the value of the counter variable is increased or decreased depending upon the condition, depending upon some keyword that we will discuss in the next slide. The condition is now evaluated again. Condition evaluated again means it is just checking whether the value of a counter is within the range or not. So if it is within the range, then it is true, otherwise it is false. If the condition becomes false, the for loop terminates. So that is how for loop works. So this is example. Let's see one example now. So I am initializing a variable. I am declaring a variable. I have not initialized it here. Then for a, now a is my counter and it is initialized with the initial value 10. So a is initialized with value 10. Now 10 is within the range, so the loop will execute and it will print the value 10. Then automatically the value of a will be incremented by 1. So it is automatically incremented by 1 and it is always incremented or decremented by 1 only, and there is no other way. You cannot increment or decrement the counter value by 2 or by 3 or by 4. There is no way for doing that. So by default, automatically it will increase or decrease the value of counter by 1. So in this case, value of a will be increased from 10 to 11, and next time 11 will be printed, then 12 will, then 13 and up to 20. So it will print up to 20. So that is how for loop works. Now coming to the next variation of for loop, another variation of for loop where we are printing in the reverse. So here the keyword reverse will be used. So for a in reverse 10 to 20 loop, rest of the structure is same. So this is my counter, this is in keyword, this is reverse keyword. Now what happened here is a is initialized with the last value. So a is initialized with the last value, and because it is reverse, now it is decremented by 1. So every time the loop iterates, it will be decremented by 1 instead of incremented, and it will go up to 10. So here the way of writing of upper limit and lower limit does not change. So only this keyword will work. Only due to this keyword the last value is assigned to a and your loop will go to backward direction. Otherwise upper value and lower value both has to be same as that in the original case. For example, in the previous case we have written first upper value, then final value, first lower value, then final value, upper value. And similarly, if the loop is going to be in reverse direction, your upper and lower value will remain the same. They have to be right in the same way. So in this case, upper value will be transferred to the counter and counter will be decremented by 1 automatically. So there is no way to decrement it by 2 or by 3. So you so only way is it is automatically decremented by 1. So to make counter of 2 or more steps, because sometimes we need to increment the counter by 2, sometimes we need to increment by 3 or decrement by 3. So we need to use some extra variable. For example, I am creating a step variable here. So in this case, my counter will be automatically incremented by 1, but I can multiply the counter with my step value to simulate the steps of 2 or 3 or more. So whatever the step you want, you can create extra variable and multiply that variable with your counter value in order to simulate the counter. So that is the only way. So if that does not solve your purpose, then you have to think about some other logic, because by default it will increment the counter by 1 only, and there is no other way. Then we have nested loops also. Loops can be nested. Outer and inner loop can be of different types also. For example, outer loop can be for loop, inner loop can be while loop, or vice versa. So the nested for in the nested loop, for every one iteration value of the outer loop, inner loop will be executed fully. So that is how this works. So loop, outer loop, and this loop is your inner loop, and this is your execution part. So for every iteration of outer loop, inner loop will be executed for the full execution time, and when inner loop exit, then outer loop will go to the next iteration, and again inner loop will be executed. So this is example of nested loop. So very first statement, program started here. I have declared a variable b. Then for a in 1 2 3, so I have to declare variable a also here, a number. So you have to write a number also. For a in 1 2 3 loop, so you have to note that here you have to put double dots only, no more than double dots, no less than double dots. So always put double dots here. For a in 1 2 3 loop, I have initialized the value of b to 1, and I am using while loop as an inner loop, and while value of a is more than equal to b, I am continuing this loop, and I am just printing the value of a, and I am not printing the value of b, but I am incrementing the value of b, so that this condition can be false at some time, and this loop can be terminated. So this loop will be terminated. Again outer loop will be executed, so it will be executed for 1 2 and 3. So, outer loop will be executed for 3 times, and inner loop will be executed depending upon the this condition, and finally when both the loops terminated, your program will be so you will get the output as a program completed. So this is a very simple example of nested loop, how the nested loop works. Now can you specify the output of this particular program? What will be printed on the screen?
So,
But we are not printing the value of b.
yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
We are printing the value of
A.
b की तो वैल्यू प्रिंट हुई ही नहीं कहीं पे.
Yes, sir.
तो a की वैल्यू क्या है? जब फर्स्ट टाइम लूप चलेगी तो a की वैल्यू क्या होगी?
1.
वो कितनी
One.
बार
One.
प्रिंट होगी? वन टाइम.
One
टाइम
time.
लूप चलेगी
One
तो
time.
वो कितनी बार चलेगी?
Two.
टू टाइम.
Two
बट
times.
प्रिंट क्या होगा?
Two.
अगेन a की वैल्यू एट दैट टाइम a की वैल्यू क्या होगी?
Two होगी.
2.
नेक्स्ट आइटरेशन a की वैल्यू होगी 3.
3.
लूप कितनी बार चलेगी? 3 टाइम.
3 times.
प्रिंट 3 3 3. नहीं?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
ਧਿਆਨ ਨਾਲ ਦੇਖਿਆ ਕਰੋ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖ ਲਓ. ਨੀਂਦ ਆ ਗਈ ਸੀ? ਓਵਰ ਕੌਨਫੀਡੈਂਸ ਹੈ ਨਾ? ओवर कॉन्फिडेंस हो गया सीगा ना. चलो एनीवे, so I hope it is clear now. Nested loops है ना. Then we have a labeling in loop also. So in PL/SQL you can also give the labels. So PL/SQL loops can be labeled. Label should be enclosed by a double angle bracket, that is less than sign and more than sign, and appear at the beginning of the loop statement. So label name can also appear at the end of the loop statement. Either you can put it at the beginning or at the end. You may use the label in the exit statement to exit from the loop. So it is very helpful to terminate the loop. For example, this is a small example that demonstrates the working of labeled loop. I have created two variable I and j. Then this is my label. I am labeling first loop, outer loop. So a label is, name of label is outer underscore loop. So whenever you have to give a label, don't put any space or any special character within a label. So every label follow the same rule that are followed by any of the variable naming. So whenever you give a name of the variable, whenever you provide a name to a variable or identifier, so whatever the rules you are going to follow, the same rule applies for creating a labels also. So never place space within a label. uh, s- uh, Underscore is possible. So this is my first label and this is my second label. So I have mentioned two labels here. First label followed by for loop for I in 1 2 3 loop. Then inner loop for j in 1 2 3 loop. I am printing the value of I and I am printing the value of j. And then there is a condition. If I equal to 2, then exit outer loop. From the inner loop, I am breaking the inner loop as well as I am breaking the outer loop. So my control directly comes to this particular place. So after the for loop, there is no other statement. My program will terminate at this particular position. So got my point. So got how you can terminate the all the loops using the labeled loop structure. Got my point? So you can create the label at any place in your program. So wherever you create the label, you can jump to that label using the from within the loop using exit statement. So exit, if you write here inner loop, then it will break the inner loop only and it will go to the next iteration in the outer loop. But if you write outer loop here, then it will break the outer loop and the whole structure will be bypassed and the control is transferred to the very next statement after the outer loop. So here it is outer loop, you can mention it here, and end loop, you can mention the label here also, you can mention the label here also, but here it is compulsory, here it is optional. So you can write it here or you can omit it also. जरूरी नहीं है कि इत्थे लिखना ही है, बट इस जगह ते लिखना जरूरी है. तो जिथे भी तुसी लेबल क्रिएट करोगे ਉਹਦੇ अकॉर्डिंग ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ लूप है, you can break that particular loop according to the label. Okay, so that is all about loops. If anything you want to discuss again, so we have covered four different structure for the loop. Very first one is the simple basic loop, then for loop, then while loop, and then we have a labeled loop. Okay. So basic loop starts with loop, ends with end loop, and you have to mention the condition here to terminate the loop. For loop structure is for, counter, in, reverse is your optional keyword, then range, lower value, dot, upper value, then next is
Loop.
loop,
Loop,
and
sir.
then set of statements, then end loop. Okay, so that is your structure of for loop. Similarly, structure of while loop is while, condition, loop, set of statements, and loop. Okay, and semicolon is at the last. Every end loop is terminated with a semicolon. There is no semicolon after the loop. There is no semicolon. So no semicolon, but semicolon is here. Okay, in the similar way, here there is no semicolon at this place, but semicolon is here. After end loop, you have to put the semicolon, and there is no semicolon here, but semicolon is here. So you have to keep all these things in your mind while creating a loop. So I hope it is now clear. Anything that you want to discuss?
सर लास्ट वाला टॉपिक लेबल लूप.
Last wala keda?
Labeled loop नहीं हम labeled.
Labeled loop.
Labeled loop.
So you can create a label at any place of at any place in your program. So labels are identified by bracket, angular brackets. So less than symbol, more than symbol, two less than symbol, two more than symbol. So this is label. This is also label. So you can give any name at the location. You can write outer loop, or you can write loop one, or you here you can write loop 2 and so on. So whatever the name you want, you can give that name to any location in your program. So now this is your first location. So outer loop starts here and ends here. Inner loop starts here and end here. So this inner label has a effect up to this place. Outer label has a effect up to this place. And after end loop, you can mention the name of the label. After end loop, you can mention the name of the label. Now, what is the benefit of this label? You can use this label to terminate the loop at any time. So in from the inner loop, I can write exit outer loop. So I can write the name of the loop that I want to exit. So in this case, I can exit from the outer loop. So it will terminate the outer loop itself. So if the nesting is very deep, loop within loop within loop within loop, and from the innermost loop, you can just write the exit statement to terminate all the loops. So this can be done with the help of labeled